We can only see you. I don't see your screen yet, so we're gonna wait for a few seconds before we can see it.
Okay, but I will, if you see me now, and I will share my screen when I need to. Is that okay?
Okay, perfect. We can start if you want. Thank you for
Yes.
joining us today.
Hi. Hi, everyone. I don't know how many people are looking at this moment, but welcome, everyone. And in times of lockdown, maybe I can start to share you my view. This is Belgium, so sunny greetings from Belgium all. So hello. So my webinar is about how worldwide disclosure of a clear helicopter guideline and protocol for vestibular disorders for primary and secondary care physicians can turn a lack of in-depth understanding of balance disorders today into early diagnostic evaluation and effective management of vestibular disorders tomorrow. Oh, I lost my screen. Someone came into my, I have to, okay. So my name is Tanja Stadsbader. I hope you can still see me. I'm an ex-patient with 15 years of dizziness and misdiagnosis. And cure in 2008, I became founding president of the International House4balance Foundation. So this foundation aims to ask for more knowledge on balance and vestibular disorders. We are no clinicians nor experts, but we can close the gap and be a bridge between all stakeholders and strive for structural change in this difficult matter. So in a patient-expert partnership with Floris Wuits from Belgium and Alexandre Bisdorf of Luxembourg, I submitted a free paper to Bernie 2020. And it's the idea of worldwide disclosure of a clear helicopter guideline and protocol. Why? Because medical insights are changing very fast, but patient stories don't follow this trend. So we know that balance disorders were overlooked in medicine for years. Most physicians have limited ability to diagnose and treat them and may not be even aware of them. So the search for proper diagnosis and effective treatment can be long and frustrating for both patients and their doctors. But the good news is the progress made by the Barani Society. So the Barani Society has enabled to define the criteria of a whole series of vestibular disorders and continues to work on several ones to update existing criteria. But these are all in separate papers published in Journal of Vestibular Research. The bad news is that the outcome still doesn't reach those confronted with the patients. In most cases, their first consult is at the GP or at the emergency department, where clinicians aren't aware of the complexity of balance disorders. Although these professionals are very crucial for differential diagnosis and the decision on which tests to be done and the treatment to start. So these separate papers published in GVR are too complex for those clinicians to consult, so they don't even have the time to search, and they even aren't available. Like, for example, in Belgium, we have EBM PracticeNet. If you search up dizziness and vertigo, you can only find 3 or 4 vestibular disorders, while we have 15, 16 several diseases. So clinicians have the wrong information to start from. So we have a huge problem with care at first line level or at the emergency department, or even vestibulologists who, I mean ENTs who don't have vestibulology as their experience. So the opportunity I see here is patients, scientists and doctors to join forces to accelerate disclosure of knowledge with plan for one helicopter protocol. So we started the Belgian study group on vestibular disorders with Professor Dr. Floris Wuits and me. Took the initiative. It's BSG-VESD, it's called. So the aim of this Belgian working group on vestibular disorders is to create a set of guidelines for GP, for emergency department clinicians, but also for ENT, neurologists, etc., so that patients with vestibular disorders won't have to wait months before they get an appropriate diagnosis, or worse, are treated for an incorrect disease. So we would like to present this Belgian example at Barony 2020 as a working model for other countries, so they can copy it. Then secondly, if we have a helicopter protocol, we would also like to provide training as spin-offs of the ECVD, so the International Classification of Vestibular Disorders. So therefore, I contacted Professor Alexandre Bisdorf from Luxembourg to help us with that. So, and he wrote me, yes, with your initiative, you run into open doors with me, because it's right, you're right that we as professionals may push forward science, but without the science trickling down to a wide application in clinical practice, it has not the impact which matters to patients. On the other hand, the advocacy of patient association can do a push forward. Certain types of agendas cannot be done by scientific societies, and joining forces is the best way to go forward. So a common session at the Barony meeting would be a welcome novelty, he said to me. So we continued with the idea because if we look at training, dealing with vestibular disorders also requires knowledge and skills which cross traditional boundaries of medical specialties. So this constitutes a problem because of the way training of doctors is organized today. Research into the diagnostic accuracy in patients with vestibular disorders unfortunately reveals that in a majority of cases there will be an inadequate diagnosis, which may entail unwarranted investigations or failing to do adequate testing and result in bad management. So yes, vestibular science, both basic and clinical, have made great advances in the last decades, and the Barony Society, which brings together basic scientists and clinicians across a spectrum of professions dealing with vestibular disorders, they have contributed greatly to the development of vestibular medicine. Like in 2009, the Barony Society started the ECVD. This made the field more visible and is the basis for harmonizing diagnostic approaches worldwide. So conclusion is, as spin-offs of the ICVD, teaching and updating doctors and other professionals' knowledge on vestibular disorders should improve. Then a third thing, what we want is outreach to patients. It could help to promote the ICVD and lay version of the definition, and general information of vestibular disorders should help anybody to know better what should be expected from professionals dealing with this disorder. So the outcome at the end would be shorten time towards appropriate diagnosis, regain family lives for patients, regain their career, resulting in a smaller socio-economic cost. That is the big idea behind it. So let me tell you first a little bit about me, what my motivation is to do this. So if you would follow me today on social media, you would see an active, healthy woman enjoying a colorful family life, having an interesting career, making fun with friends, being a passionate cyclist, able to ride cobblestones of Paris-Roubaix. I'm also a mom of 3 children, and I would say lucky for them, lucky for me, because today I'm 49, so we travel 26 years in time since I became ill to land here today talking to you, vestibular experts, while I'm healthy again. So why am I here? Why I should rather live my happy, healthy life and forget about the past? I do this because there was a time I was struggling with severe vertigo attacks. Since I was 23. So only after 14 years of being ill and getting misdiagnosed with Meniere's disease and a few alternative diagnoses, did Professor Dr. Floris Wuits discover the correct diagnosis: benign paroxysmal positional vertigo, BPPV. I went to many doctors for many opinions, and this was my 7th opinion, when most people and doctors had already told me I had to stop doctor shopping, I needed to learn to live with it, because it was all between my ears. So, which is strange, because BPPV should be one of those disorders to be recognized rather easily. Anyway, I always knew these diagnoses XYZ they gave me were not the ones I suffered from. So I did continue to Google it, and I kept searching for my cure, even if I only had 5% possibility to find the answer to my illness. It was worth the try for me. So I will try to share my window now with you, just a minute. How do I do that? So I will show you Professor Wuits, who is doing an appel and a brand daarof with me. but I first have to, yes, share screen. So this is what I want to share. So this is Professor Wertz and me. He's doing MEPE with me, and the brand Darov. So he's also the man behind So Stoned. I don't know if you know So Stoned, but So Stoned is a mnemonic, and it's the fingerprint for vestibular pathologies according to the So Stoned dimensions was published in Frontiers of Surgery in 2016. And you see a lot of disorders are bundled in acute, vertigo, episodic, chronic. With dimensions for clinicians, how to find out which disease it won't be and which are the possibilities left, so to help them in their decision machine what tests to do and what it could be. So only 1 year after my right diagnosis, I underwent a canal plugging surgery because I was a very severe case on my right balance organ. So that's me on the picture. So after that, so I was cured after 15 years of illness. And then since then I have been raising awareness for 12 years through my blog, social media, and so on. So that's how after some time, I decided to publish a book with Floris Wertz. I asked him to do that together. He as a scientist, me as an ex-patient. So we had 4 editions in Dutch and then 1 English. I even wrote a child book because of the forgotten sense balance in school. Schools teach about how we can hear, how we can see, how we can smell, but they forget about balance. So I'm trying to raise awareness on schools too. So we got a lot of press attention too. You see here a lot of press articles. So, but the book wasn't my goal. The book was meant as a tool to initiate change, and that plan didn't work. So that's why in 2018, I decided we need an international foundation to spread awareness. So if we go to the website, I will maybe go to the website. I show you first in my Word document. So here you see it in the English version, but you can see that we have Dutch and English, French, Portuguese, and Arabic, and a Spanish version. So I will now try to go to share, stop sharing. I will share another window. So I will share the website now. This is the website. So this is the Arabic version. I just scroll a little bit and then I will change. What do you say? So we made it in Arabic. I found someone who helped me with translation. So if we go to the American version, so you can find, like, for example, all our projects, our ideas, what we want to do. But more interesting is the videos on dizziness. I will just start to play one for a few seconds, then you have an idea, and then you can take a look later. For example, for this one, we won something with that, mal de débarquement. So if you take a look, I will make... So what we do is explain, you can use it in your cabinet for your people, it's free. So we just make it and you can make use of it. But it's also good for patients to understand what their disease is. But we are still making some more videos. So it's like that. Okay, I stop sharing because it's too long. You can take a look later. Okay. But how do I have to stop that? Okay, yes, here. Okay, so this is better. Now I go back to my other screen. Okay. You can take a look at it later. So some time ago, I posted a milestone news with the House4balance website. A research collection on the vestibular system became the winner of the 2018 Frontier Spotlight Award. And the article I shared in that post said the burden of vestibular disorders is growing, especially in aging populations. But most physicians have very limited ability to diagnose and treat such disorders and may not even be aware of them. So indeed, if you take a look at the news section on our website, you'll find facts and figures in a post about the GP and emergency department. So our GP is confronted